And now, the true light, featuring Sayyid Imam Isa Al-Hadi Al-Mahdi.
We were created like 76 trillion years ago in air pockets. And then I read another thing where that the elders and these people, where they resided were in like pockets of the universe, things like that. And I was just wondering if you could elaborate a little bit on that.
In the scriptures in Genesis, when it says, "And the Spirit of the Lord moved upon the surface of the waters," this is before He even created man. This is talking about before Genesis, before man was placed in the physical. When it says, "In the beginning, the Creator," or created the heavens and the earth, and the earth was without form, and void and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And then the next verse says, "And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters." This is before He created man. You follow that? That means the spiritual part, or the spiritual essence of the Creator existed many, many billions and trillions of years before He took and created the light. Because He's going to go after that in number 3 to say what? And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. So before the Almighty created human beings, He already existed. So when we say that man existed 76 trillion years before His original creation, we're saying because the Almighty says, "I blew into man of my spirit, and man became a living soul," that the essence of the Almighty was placed into the shell of a man. And if prior to being placed into man, He existed in a spiritual form in countless amounts of years. Why we say 76 trillion years is like an infinite number of years by our earth time before man became placed as a spirit into a body and became a living soul. You follow?
No.
That's what it means.
Okay, shukran, Regalia.
Assalamu alaikum. Brother, my question is, why is it, or what's taking the Muslim communities so long to come together as one?
It's a very good question. You know what the problem is? Just like every other religion, the Muslims in America are predominantly influenced by pale Arabs who are coming over here from white Arab countries and telling us things that don't apply to us after being in slavery for 300 years. For instance, they tell us there's no such thing as racism in Islam. It's easy for you to say that when you was born and raised in Arabia, and you was raised and educated by Arabians, and you were the president's an Arabian, and the vice president's an Arabian, and the doctor is an Arabian, you know what I'm saying? And the teacher, they don't understand what people in the Caribbean have been through. They don't understand what the blacks in America have been through under the oppression of the white man. So it's very easy when they come over and say there's no racism in Islam, everybody is created equal. Yes, if everybody was created equal, everybody's not treating each other equally. The white man seems to have a complex about us and seems to find it necessary to treat me and you bad for some reason and not accept us as equals, not give us equal opportunities. You know, there's open, outright racism. So what happens in Islam is the same thing that's happening in Christianity. Denominations get made up because certain people are blacks coming together saying we got to do something for the family first, for our own first, then we can relate to other people in the world. And there's other blacks in America who are busy here loving Arabs more than they love their own brothers. They won't go out and support a black rally, but they'll go out and march on the United Nations in support of Palestine, or march on the United Nations in support of some Arab embargo. But when the girl up in the Tawana Brawley has a problem, you don't see none of them out trying to support that. Or they won't support Jesse Jackson, but they will support some Arab who comes here who starts, you know what I'm saying? And the reason why we're not a part of them is because they don't see the black family as something that should be dealt with first. That we should care about our own first and then extend our hand to other people. And this is what keeps us divided from them. They open their arms to too many people. And we as a people have been hurt too many times to keep our arms open so much. Because everybody we've dealt with stepped on us. And so sectism breeds out of indoctrination from different countries, from different people. And that's what's happening. You got a lot of Pakistanians coming in here, and they give their concept of Islam. You got Saudians coming here, they give their concept of Islam. And you got, Egyptians coming here, and they give their concept of Islam. But they don't let too many Africans come. They don't let too many people from Senegal. They don't let the Senegalese teachers come. They don't let the Sudanese teachers come. They don't let the Somalian teachers come. They don't, you know what I'm saying? They block off the blacks who are trying to teach, and they always got some guy up there who's a leader, and he's always white. And that's because I'm saying I'm going to take care of my family first. I got family in Trinidad, Jamaica, Barbados, all over the world, a black family, and we got to unite and get our program together, because so nobody care about us in Puerto Rico, they don't care about us in Cuba, they don't care about us in Africa. All they care about is Europe and the Europeans. So blacks, the Africans, the Cubans, the Puerto Ricans, the Santo Domingans, we have to get together as one family and start building for ourselves. Like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught, we got to start doing something for ourselves. Then we can start considering other races of people. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. But brother, I noticed in the end you said, like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, but even in that area, I find that there is a separation. I find that
Wallace D. Muhammad versus Farrakhan.
And Wallace D. Muhammad versus Farrakhan.
Sure.
And this community versus Wallace and Farrakhan.
No, we don't. We and Farrakhan are one community now.
You are.
The Nation of Islam under Farrakhan and Ansar Allah and Imam Isa and Farrakhan have come together.
Very good.
Wallace D. Muhammad, he's on salary to the Saudi Arabians. He works for them. And I can't relate to a black man with black people here with a problem getting a job working in Saudi Arabia for them when he should be a benefit to his people over here. You follow? Wallace D. Muhammad has a job working for the Saudis. Farrakhan and Imam Isa have already come together. There's already a bond between us two, because we realize that our differences are destroying us. We better come together on what we agree on.
But brother, I'm kind of happy to hear that, because I followed the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for 17 years. And in the last couple of years, I have sort of remained a Muslim, but I've remained a supporter of Minister Farrakhan, and that is one of the problems that has been bothering me, because, you know, in reading the Quran and the understanding that I've gained, I realize and I feel deeply in my heart that this is the desire of Allah, that we come together. So that's why, as of today, I decided to come down here and see what was taking place here, and I will do this throughout all the other communities.
That's a very good thing to do.
Something is bothering me deep inside, and what's bothering me is, why can't we come together if we say we believe in one God?
You know what had to happen, brother? Me and Minister Louis Farrakhan both had to put our personal egos aside and think of the betterment of our congregations and our people, and that's what made it possible. You're going to find that the Sunni Muslims got such big egos, they can't put it aside. That's all they got is their ego. We got more going for us than just our egos. We have congregations of black people who want to do something as a family. So we were able to put our egos aside, put our little differences of opinion, his idea of Master Fard Muhammad as opposed to mine of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his ideas of certain things where we may differ, we put that aside and said, let's get together on the things that we agree on, because we got people depending on us and looking at me and you for guidance, and me and you got to show them some type of example. And this dividing is causing us to be conquered. So we got together, we hugged and embraced, and we realized that we can find things in both our congregations that we can agree on and bring the family together. And that's what we're doing. If the Sunnis don't want no parts of it, it don't make us no difficult, we're going to still do it. Because a lot of them want to love white people. I ain't got no room for that. Not in this day and time. We don't have, at least when Jesse Jackson was going for president, somebody was trying to make a statement to us that there was a little hope for black man. When they just stepped on Brother Jesse Jackson and put another cracker up there, we're back 15 years again. If you understand what I'm trying to say, when Jesse Jackson was a candidate, it said, well, maybe America is going to take a little curve in their emotions and give us a shot, right? Yes. But the way they treated Jesse Jackson after that just niched him like he wasn't a primary part of blacks getting ready to vote, because he got all us stimulated to vote. Then they just stepped on him and threw some crack in there. I'm like, we back 15 years ago. Now it's back, we about ready to go back to the Black Panthers again. We back to scratch the way they treating the brother. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So people like me and Farrakhan say, listen, we better get together. We better find out what Sister Falani is doing with the new party, and find out what she's trying to do, and find out how, you know, because we can't shake Jesse Jackson and realize the devil is out to hurt him, and we can't make him see that. I mean, then it's going to be a sad day for us as blacks. Let's set the brother up. Find some scandal and blaspheme his name and make him look bad in public. You don't do all that kind of stuff. But believe me, if they watch anybody close enough, they'll find a fault. So we got to get together as a people, the black man, and do something for our families. We got families starving all over the world, throughout the Caribbean, all over Puerto Rico, and our people are starving. And we got to get together and do something as a family, and that's why we came together. And we're trying to convince other congregations to do the same thing and put their egos aside. You know what I'm saying? Just lay your ego aside and I'm the imam of this and I'm the great this. Right. Put all that aside. If you're really so great, then you can put it aside and let our congregations come together. Right. That's the best way. And let the congregation decide what the truth is. Okay? Right. I'm glad you brought it up too.
Right. It has brought some peace to my soul.
Mine too, when we got together, believe it or not.
Assalamu alaikum. It seems like we got to a conclusion about the answer might be that we got to come together. All right, you got different congregations, right? You got different religions. You know, you got black people, you know, with the Jehovah's Witness, you know, Seventh-day Adventists. They're all coming together in their own churches, right?
I hope so, because it's time.
And still, I mean, what's the bottom line?
I think the bottom line would be if all of us got together and was able to sit down and talk to each other without arguing and versing and just talk, we'll find out who got the truth. The truth will come out while people are sitting together. But as long as the Jehovah's Witnesses feel we're wrong and we feel they're wrong, and you know, and all the ministers are walking around keeping the congregation from locking into each other, that's not doing us no good. I think that once we all get together as a family, and we could sit down with Jehovah's Witness, Seventh-day Adventists, Pentecostals, Black Muslims, Sunni Muslims, Shia, anything, and we all can get together and start to just meet on the things that we agree on, that we are one people and we need each other, then we'll assimilate where the truth is at amongst us. You follow what I'm saying? And once that's done, we can start building that nation. But as long as we're divided, they're going to keep conquering us. As long as we're little splinter groups, they'll keep us against each other and they'll keep us, weak. But if we start uniting, they can't stop us.
Well, could you give any additional points for the young brothers and the sisters as a step one basis?
Yes.
You know, as you go out there to fight the system or, your hang-ups or whatever. I mean,
I understand.
Yeah,
I think the first thing we have to learn to do as a people is start rejecting his stereotypes. You follow? In other words, he puts out a certain dress style and we all wear it. He puts out a certain kind of music and we all listen to it. He has a certain kind of automobile out. Young black boys are buying these new these low cars with the riders on the side and he has a certain, we got to rebel against these stereotypes, because as long as we keep complying to the stereotypes, he has a certain amount of control over the way we think. Then the next thing is we got to become concerned with each other. I got to start caring about your problems. And you guys can care about my problems. We got to start buying from each other and trying to create products to sell to other people instead of always us buying from everybody else and selling nothing to nobody economically. We got to think in terms of educating our children with a new image in their minds and their souls and get this white supremacy out. The devil food cake is black and angel food cake is white, and good guys ride a white horse and bad guys ride a black horse, and dark shadows is evil. We got to change these subliminal indoctrination that has been put in our minds. The Sunni Muslims don't want to picture the Prophet Muhammad black, but what they don't realize is that the white Arabs have already put one out in their mind in the Hadith as white. You understand what I'm trying to say? We got to deep down inside like a dentist and take out these cavities so our children will not be looking at it from a white man's standpoint of view, but look at it Islam colorblind. Well, we can't make them colorblind if they've already been blinded by some color. If they've already made you think that all the prophets was white, Jesus was white, Moses was white, Muhammad was white, all of Muhammad's companions was white, then a black kid comes along and then you teach him no racism in Islam. You're teaching them that after they've already said the prophet was white. So we gotta get down inside of ourselves and get these white images out of ourselves, because these white images give me and you subconscious inferiority complexes. They make us feel inferior because everything is white seems to be right. Everything on television is always leaning towards the white man is right. You understand what I'm saying? And so I think that we got those principles to deal with. We got to deal with the roots of our emotions that this man is affected. We got to stop following his trends. And we got to reconsider many things that some of our great leaders and the greatest, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, had to say about us as a people and the direction we should be going in, because he knew what he was talking about more than any of the leaders we had or have right now. You follow what I'm saying? But we just didn't want to listen to him because the white man told us he was a bad man. Because the white man said don't listen to him. Because he wasn't going along with the white man's religion that Jesus is a white boy up in heaven and one day everybody's going to go up there and sit on some throne with him forever. Because he didn't agree with that and didn't give us that Christian mentality of spook gods, then they didn't like him because they couldn't keep us spooked. The white man likes to keep me and you spooked. You talk to the average Sunni Muslim, he is spooked. You start talking about Islam, they are spooked. They start believing stuff like the Baruch, the horse that took the Prophet Muhammad from Mecca to Medina, was a big creature with a bunch of wings. They're spooking him again. And everything is for real. And if we're going to change the way our people feel, we got to go inside our people and change the way they feel inside, and then the goodness will reflect outside. This brainwashing and this subliminal seduction that the white Arabs are putting on us is just as bad as whitewashed Christianity. You know, it's so sad though, like you pointed out, but black people will go to work on Monday and take the white man's word that he's going to pay them on Friday. But they won't come together with black people and put their money together on Monday together to do something because they don't trust each other. But when it comes to the white man, I'll start working on Monday and know because he told me on Friday he's going to pay me and I'll get a check, I'm willing to trust him. But when it comes to blacks doing that, they won't get together. If you black men in there got together and put your money together and found some sister in that place that can make something, and all of y'all back there, y'all would be in the first business. You'd have your some sister in there could sew or do hair or whatever she does. And if all those black men there took 1 week's salary, don't give it to the Ansar Allah community. Choose somebody in there that y'all trust. Pool all that money on behind that one sister, open your first business, and y'all would be in business in about 2 months. And if she makes shirts, we all say, from henceforth, we buy our shirts from Sister Nubia. And that's the only place we buy shirts. Even if we don't like every shirt, them Jews can't like that kosher food. They can't. Not as nasty as that food be tasting. They can't. But they be buying it to support each other. They can't. You know what I'm trying to say? That's what we have to do. We're the only people that don't do that. The Italians do it, they got Little Italy, right? The Polish do it, and they got Polish Town. The Latinos and the blacks, we cannot do it. Because every time we get together, they call it the ghetto. Everybody else is Chinatown. If you walk through Chinatown, it's the ghetto. I don't know if you noticed it. But the white man won't call that the ghetto. He calls that Chinatown. But wherever we, Latin or blacks, get together, it's always the ghetto. We won't invest together. We won't put our money together. We won't support each other. And if we don't do that, we'll always be starving. And the white man loves that divide, because in that divide is that conquer. You hit it. As soon as we make our money, we spending it.
True. Thank you.
My pleasure, brother.
Mike. Salam alaikum. We're going to have to try, right?
We got to keep trying. You hit it.
Salam alaikum wa rahmatullah. I'm trying to figure out in the scriptures, is there in the divine a time period for certain miracles to take place, a certain types of, whereas you could actually, what they call, what is called being saved, like when that woman when Joshua sent his 2 captains into the city, Rahab's house, and the woman, which was Rahab's house, she hid, prostitute or harlot, she hid the 2 captains up in the top of the barn.
That's right.
So for her work, she was spared the destruction.
That's right.
And like with Eliphaz and Job and with the 3 guys,
that's right,
they were asked for Job to pray for them, and through Job's prayer, it says that they were saved.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm searching, Imam Isa.
Yes.
Believe me, our Father Elijah Muhammad,
alhamdulillah,
and what you said that he told us to come to you is a fact beyond doubt. I don't have no dispute with that. But one day I had asked you to pray so I could find the strength within me to come into the community, because my family, I can't find no excuse. Let me get I can't find out why I won't come. Let me end that problem for you. And the reason why I told you I couldn't pray for you is this. Because remember, the prayers that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam received, the way he was taught to pray by the angel Gabriel, was different than the way the children of Israel were praying. It was very similar, but there's one thing in that prayer that sticks with me that a lot of Muslims seem to miss. And that's Sami Allahu liman hamada, Rabbana wa lakal hamd.
Allah will listen to those who are grateful to Him only. You see that? And then it says, our sustainer to you is due all gratitude. Sami Allah liman hamada, Rabbana wa lakal hamd. And that's why when people say, will you pray for me? I say, Allah only listens to those who praise Him. They got to go do it themselves first. They got to get the battery charged, then put it in the radio and the music will play. That's what I was trying to say to you. There are many people who come to me to be healed, and for different reasons I'll do different things. But what I'm trying to say, when a person says, pray for me, Imam, in all of my prayers I include everybody. But I will not signal out an individual, because I'll say, Allah says, Sami Allah liman hamada, Rabbana wa lakal hamd. He's asking you to do that yourself. That's the only one I tell you that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you answered my question in Shukran Brazil, because that's what I was trying to find out, because I would read a story or something where, like, for a certain goodness, because I try to be a good brother as far as helping people and helping anybody I could, you know, with mathematics involved. I was just trying to figure out, you know, what these people could be prayed for before. Is there a certain time with which divinity takes on a certain form? And you answered that by saying Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's prayer was, it changed the actions of
the whole purpose of the Quran was to clear up and perfect all those things that Israel was messing up. And that's what the Quran came for. Allah, that's the Quran was perfectly made to, you know, every little flaw that Israel said, well, can we do this? And can we do that? And should we do this? That's why Allah said, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون. That's why he said this scripture does not have any doubt in it. It is a guidance to those who tremble at the mention of Allah, those who have faith in things though they do not see them, and they are the ones who enforce and keep up worship. You see that? These are the ones who realize that nothing belongs to them, because Allah is razaqnahum yunfiqun. He is the provider. You see what I'm trying to say? That's why it came to tell Bani Israel, you want another kalam, another word min Allah Ta'ala? Ha! Here it is. Al-Quran. La rayba fi. There's not one doubt in it. Huda lil muttaqeen. A guidance for those who taqwa. وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِمَا أُنزِلَ عَلَيْكَ وَمَا أُنزِلَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. It is a guidance for those. And it tells them, when it says وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ, this is speaking about, this is for those who have faith in what was نَزَلَ, sent down إِلَيْكَ Muhammad, وَمَا أُنزِلَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ, and what was sent down قَبْلِكَ, before you Muhammad. وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. And when the last day comes, you will be successful. You understand what I'm saying? That's the protocol of it all. And that is what speaking in tongues is. Speaking in a foreign tongue and interpreting it. Not just going blah, 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 blah. That's not what I'm doing. If you learn Arabic, you learn that that's what I'm saying is what's written in that Arabic. Okay?
Shukran Brazil. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam.
We now have available over 70 hours of True Light tapes, spoken by our teacher and guide, As-Sayyid Al-Imam Isa Al-Hadi Al-Mahdi, that cover such topics as Message to the Black Man, Slave Trade, Is Nature Man's Worst Enemy?, Truth is Truth, AIDS and Homosexuality, and much, much more. These tapes will serve as a constant guide in your growth and knowledge of Islam. We now have available incense, oils, and prayer beads. Learn Arabic by video. You can learn Arabic regardless of what age. You can start now, and in 6 months to 1 year, you will be speaking and writing classical Arabic of the Quran. So hurry down to the original tents of Kedar, 717 Bushwick Avenue, and pick up your copy of Arabic lesson tapes on video.
Excuse me, sir. First question I'd like to ask you is, what's the difference between you and Farrakhan? Why haven't y'all got together yet?
Okay, me and Farrakhan have gotten together. and we have put aside our minor differences for our family, which is the Nation of Islam. We both acknowledge the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as a chosen messenger from Allah. I didn't say he was Rasul, I didn't say he was Nabi, which means I didn't say he was an apostle, and I didn't say he was a prophet. I said he was a messenger from Allah, sent to the people, to the lost found in America, to bring them to a certain amount of consciousness to prepare them for the last day. You follow? So we have come together, and we are negotiating, we're talking back and forth every day now on the different things that the Nation of Islam's newest color of all of the FOI uniforms will be white soon. These are things we're beginning to work together, and we're going to make sure as a family we're strong. And we both uplift our leadership to Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Okay?
All right. The next question is, if we were from Africa, and you look through the history of Africa, you notice that there's not too many Muslims in South Africa. And when we were brought over here...
Well, first of all, the slaves didn't come from South Africa.
Where did they come from?
They came from Sudan and Aswan.
All slaves came from there?
No. There were two slave trades, the 1400 and the 1600. The 1400 slaves came from the west coast of Africa, and the 1600 slave trade came from the northeastern part, Aswan, Libya. There's two sets of slaves. That's why when you look in that room, if you look at everybody's faces, you see some black people in that room who are dark with wide noses and thick lips and very coarse hair, and you see other blacks inside the room that could be light skinned, have wavy hair, or dark skin with shiny black skin and long noses and slanted eyes, because there's more than one tribe mixed up in that room. There's tribes from the west coast of Africa that has now been mixed in with the tribes from the east coast of Africa, from Morocco all the way through Algeria, through Libya, down into Egypt and Aswan. So in that room there is a combination, a mixture of almost all of the different parts of Africa. That is us. We are a bowl of sweet fruit and beautiful flowers. We run everything from very light skin, which is like our Latino brothers with wavy and straight hair, all the way down to very dark skin with thick lips and nappy hair. All of that is the family of Adam. That's us. They call us different hues and colors in the Quran. Shakala. Go ahead.
What happens if I wasn't from that tribe that is Arabic? Am I considered a Muslim, or is there some way I would have to change or anything?
That's a very good question. The whole thing is, everybody in Africa were Arabs, because everybody in Africa came into Africa by way of the Prophet Noah. If we follow the descendancy of the Prophet Noah after the flood, we'll find out that his sons, right, Ham, Shem, and Yafet, and Rhea died in the flood, but between those three sons, Ham, Shem, and Yafet, all of Africa was populated, from the Hamites to the Semites to the Foothites and to the Mesramites. The Mesramites are the Egyptians, and the Hamites are the Somalian Ethiopians. The Foothites and the Libyans are the people of Libya, and up that way. And then you have from Nuba, from Sem, you get the son Haliva, which is Nubia, which is all down there. So Africa was, the whole continent was spread by the sons of Noah. And before Noah moved into Africa, he was an Arab, because the word Arab, don't let them confuse you. See, they make it look like it's a nationality. The word Arab is the word Araba, to move about, to go from place to place. So when his family left Asia, and in Asia, under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, when he taught us we are the original Asiatic black people, he was talking about before we migrated from Asia into Africa. When we moved into Africa, we became known as Nubians or Africans or Ghanaians or Nigerians. The white man gave us a lot of names because he couldn't deal with us for what we were, which was blackface, which was the original name of Ethiopia and Egyptian. When they first called us Egyptos, they were saying the burnt-faced people, or Sudanese, which is from the word Sud in Arabic, which means black. So when we left Arabia, we migrated, so they called us Araba. Those who migrate, just like Abraham and then were called Hebrew when they crossed the Tigris, because Ibra in Hebrew means to cross from one side to the next. So people were calling us these. So the word Arab became synonymous with an act we made when we left Asia and went into Africa. And then because we were speaking Syriac language, because we came out of the Tigris-Euphrates Valley or Chaldea under Abraham, they referred to the language we spoke as the language of the Arab people, or the language of those migrants, and later on became known as Arabiya or Arabic. Okay?
Okay. The next question is, for Muslims that are starting their own business, how do you back them, and do you back them What did it mean? I mean, is it just spiritually, financially? How do you go about backing a Muslim starting a business?
We back them every way we can. We tell other Muslims support the business as long as they're not selling drugs or alcohol or pork. There's a lot of Muslims here from Yemen, and they got these stores on the corner, these grocery stores, and they say they're Muslims, but they sell pork and they sell cigarettes and they sell a lot of stuff. We don't back that. But if you open a clean, healthy store, I don't mind walking my 10-year-old daughter in and be able to say, see that brother there, he's in business, then I would tell my families and all the Muslim families, support that brother. If the brother has an idea and he doesn't have the finance to do it, and he has a good idea and he can show me where it's constructed and sincere, then we might even back it. I'm saying might because I don't want to make no promises that the community might object to. We would, in most cases, back him financially to help him get in business.
Who would I talk to about that?
You can talk to the brothers in the front, you can talk to brothers, because it's like a family, it's an organization here. So you can just about talk to most brothers, and they'll say, well, this brother's closer to the Imam, he talks to the Imam every day, this brother runs businesses, and it's like that. There's not as regimented. We need the regimentation that the Nation of Islam offers, like FOI and stuff like that. We need it, and we're working towards it now, but we was always very loose here. Everybody's just family. We're just now beginning to realize that the FOI, MGT, and GCC is something needed in the Ansar Allah community, and it will be enforced in due time when we have, training, girl training, general civilization class, and FOI, so we're prepared for whatever's going to happen. These are all the compromises that we're making. They're going to white, and we're going to make an FOI, etc., etc., etc. But you can talk to any of the brothers in the front, and they can get a message directly to me. I am not out of reach. I don't hide. I'm doing this there because it's easier for me to talk from here down. Last week I was in the class talking to the people who were there. This week I just happened to be here. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm not out of reach. You can get up, you can walk up to me, unless I feel uncomfortable. And if I see in your eyes where you're going to be disrespectful or arrogant, I will ride with you as long as I can until I can't take it anymore. Then I'll just go back to being George.
Okay.
Hey, what's up?
You saying that you're supposed to raise up these kids 144,000?
No, I'm saying you're supposed to raise them. I'm supposed to give you the doctrine to do it with. And what has to happen is you have to marry women. This is makes it so difficult, son. Y'all have to marry women who we know have already been defiled, because we all have been defiled by the harlot, right? We have did all the wrong things, but we have to give birth like Mary's mother gave birth to Mary. That's why we call her the Blessed Mother Mary, because she was also blessed. And she is to give birth to the Messiah. Just the thing y'all have to do. You brothers and sisters, you young people have to marry and give birth to kids, and let me raise the kids in Arabic and in purity, and not be drinking and harassing the fornicator, the harlot, and then your kids will give birth to the Messiah that will save the world. Do you understand? People keep thinking they're the 144,000. How can you fool yourself into thinking you're the 144,000 with all the devilish shit you done did your whole life? Why don't you stop fooling yourself, Junior? Y'all know y'all ain't hardly know 144,000. If the Messiah Jesus came out of heaven right now, he walked by most of us with all the stuff that we done did. But we can give birth to children and raise them in purity and righteousness. They never had no pork in their body. They never defiled or blasphemed the name of Allah by worshiping more than one deity or binding partners with him or saying that Jesus is God. They never did that. We can raise them, then their genes will be perfect, and they will give birth to angels or angelic beings. You know what I'm saying? That's the way we have to do it. But it's not my job solely. No, you're going to help me with this one. You're going to help me push this car up the hill, because it's too hard for any one mortal. Okay?
Right.
What's your name?
Leonardo.
Leonard?
Drakeford. The last question is, something that I'm really concerned about is this year 2000, and all these things are going to happen. And if all the white people, I'm not going to say white people, all the people that are totally against blacks.
Good, that's good you said that, because a lot of blacks are against us too now.
Right. All the people that are against us, how we save this 144,000, and will we go from radiation and stuff like that? I mean, if they have the bombs and we have nothing,
I hear you.
What are we to do to protect ourselves? If we can raise these kids and purify them.
First, let me add this. The first thing is, there's a reason why the white man continues to refer to blacks and Latinos as the minority, when he knows, in fact, we are the majority. You understand?
Right.
He has birth control to control our birth. He ain't trying to control his birth, because white people got to go get booster shots to get pregnant. That white man can be married 20 years and don't have but one baby. A Negro can be married 20 minutes and have a baby. I mean, this baby's all over that room looking around. He keeps me and you thinking that we are in the minority, because when the stuff hits the fan, his greatest fear is black, Latino black, all of us, the original people of color, coming together as one family, and he would be immobilized. You realize how many of us it is with the Malaysians, and the Japanese, and the Koreans, and the Vietnamese, and the Philippines, and the Hawaiians, and the Cubans, and the Haitians, and the Trinidadians, and the Puerto Ricans, and the Santo Domingans, and the Panamanians, and the Alabamians, and the Georgians. We are the majority. When the devil's time is up, and believe me, I don't have to prophesy about his time being up. You can read the newspaper now. He's saying the greenhouse effect, ozone layer's gone, insects are coming, AIDS is here. They didn't even solve herpes. They already got a new disease. Usually the white man gets the time to fight one disease before another one comes. He gets polio and he fights it before another. This time he was still dealing with herpes, and AIDS said, hey, I'm here. And he ain't had nothing ready for AIDS. He forgot about herpes because y'all so busy worrying about who got AIDS that you don't realize that herpes is just as bad because it stays with you like your eyebrows also. It's with you forever. And just decides when it feels like coming forward. That's even worse. So it decides, I guess I'll plague him for a month. I'll cool out for 6 months. Well, AIDS says, I got the better idea. I'm just going to kill the fool. So now, what do you think the white man is doing with all these? Listen, the Challenger blew up a couple of years ago, right? They send up some people, you know, that shooting the rocket towards space. The thing blew up, right? Now they're complaining about the budget of the United States of America, the deficit, the debts we in, how foreign countries are not paying their debt, how the country can go into a depression, etc., and they spend another $5 billion sending another rocket up into space for the fun of it. Or is it for the fun of it? Or does he know something he ain't telling you about what's going to happen to the earth, and he's trying to get a taxi out of here? Which really ain't funny. I mean, we may laugh, but that ain't funny. If the country is in such a bad state economically, how come they got the money to throw up another rocket? And what do they call it? Tell me, somebody. Will y'all please tell me what they call it? They call it the shuttle, correct? Do y'all know they call it the Challenger, the shuttle? What is a shuttle? How many people came from New Jersey? Anybody who came from New Jersey took the shuttle from one train to another to get here. Now, when he tells you that that's a shuttle, what is he telling you people? Somebody's planning on leaving here, leaving the planet Earth. After they are the ones responsible, because us in Africa and the Caribbean, we wasn't the ones making bombs and making all kind of cans and destroy. We wasn't doing all this nuclear destruction. We still got flowers growing in Puerto Rico. We still got fruit trees there. Only America is predominantly brick and concrete and industry. You go to New Jersey, the air of New Jersey is nothing but disease. The water in Philadelphia, they admit it's poison. Now this man has poisoned the planet. He's killing all the animals. He's killing all the people. Now he got a shuttle trying to get out of here. He's going to desert and leave it on me and you. But, fortunately for us, the scripture tells us not to fear. If you turn your book to Revelation, chapter 18, it says, after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven having great power, and the earth was lit up with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is what, y'all?
Fallen.
Is what, y'all?
Fallen.
And has become an inhabitant of what?
Devils.
And a hole of every foul what?
Spirit.
And a cage for every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of the fornication. Right?
That's right.
And the kings of the earth, that's y'all in there, who were once kings and queens, but now what are we? Right? And the kings of the earth have what?
Committed fornication with her.
Committed fornications in her. We blaspheme. We watch pornography. We indulge in all kind of lust. We wear mini skirts and we think it's sexy. We wear all kind of, just go to the beach and you might as well, forget it. Y'all know what I'm talking about though? And the bad thing about it is, even if you're trying to raise your kid in decency, you can't even let your kid watch a movie, a cartoon, before they threw on some lust or some perversion. What do you think the Odd Couple is about? Odd Couple is about two homosexuals. That's what the whole program is about. Subliminally placing in your mind that Felix Unger is a faggot and the other one is his boyfriend. One is a little housekeeper. How many men you know walk around tidying up the house? But you don't see that. They're placing this in your son's mind in a quiet kind of way. For all nations have drunk of the wine and the wrath of the fornications, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Other countries now are becoming millionaires, like Arabs. They became rich from selling oil to America. Correct? That's what it says right in the Bible. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her what?
My people.
Get out of her, y'all. That ye what?
Be not partakers
of
her sins.
And that she receive not her
plagues.
So that means the day will come so that we don't suffer her plague. Well, Marcus Garvey tried to get us out of here. Did we go?
Nope.
Now do blacks have herpes?
Yes.
Do blacks have AIDS?
Yes.
Are we suffering her plagues?
Yes.
You walk down 42nd Street with your family and you got to see some pornography on the wall, right?
Yes, you do.
You got to indulge in that fornication subconsciously even if you don't want your kids to see it. You don't know what they're going to be exposed to at school because some little girl wears a miniskirt or whatever the case may be, right?
That's right.
That's what the Bible says. Then number 5 says what?
For her sins have reached unto the heaven, and the law hath remembered her iniquities.
The devil's sins are so great that heaven is even being disturbed by them. And all her evils is being remembered by the Most High. He's going to reward her even as she rewarded you. A double unto her, double according to her work. This beast, this harlot, she's going to suffer twice as much as she made you people suffer. You know why? You know what she says? What did she say? How much she has glorified herself. Okay. Torment and sorrow gave her. She made people suffer and made people sad and tormented them. That's what she did. But she says in her heart, that means America believes in her heart, I am a queen. That's the harlot that sits on the beast that controls the world with the United Nations. I am a queen and am no widow. I didn't inherit America by losing death. They just came in and took it from the Indians. No bloodshed. I became a queen without inheritance. Like the Queen of England, she got it through inheritance. The kings of Arabia, they got it through inheritance. The kings of Africa, they get it through inheritance. The kings in China, they got it through inheritance. America says, what did she say right there?
And she saith in her heart, I stood a queen and am no widow.
That's right. I didn't get it through inheritance. I took what I got. Therefore shall her plague come in one day. Because she took it, now she's going to suffer in one day. What's going to happen to her? Death.
And mourning.
Go ahead.
And famine.
Go ahead.
And she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord of law who judges her.
You know what's happening? That fire is taking place all over the country right now, but you don't see it. Because it ain't in New York. If you went out west, you'd find just Yellowstone Park, a lot of people don't know, 40 million acres of burning is more than New York. All of New York can burn down in 40 million acres. This country is on fire, literally. Y'all know it's still burning? It ain't out yet? Let's go back and see what the Lord said you're going to get for that. They said death. Every night you turn on television, somebody done shot somebody to death. Or some plane crash, or some car crash, or some bus turned over, or there's been a fire, or some kid stabbed this kid, or shot this kid, or robbed this there, right? We are already in the day of death. What's the next part?
And mourning.
And now innocent people are being killed, so their parents are doing what?
Mourning.
Suffering. People ain't got nothing to do with it. Some punk selling crack drives by and shoots your brother just hanging on the corner. And now you gotta suffer. And
famine.
Do we have famine here or not?
Yes, we do.
Don't you see the prices shoot up this year because of all the crops that died this summer in this country? And she shall be utterly
burned with fire.
For
strong is the Lord of law who judges her.
All the things that's happening in the New York Times right now is written right here in the book of Revelation. The fires, the deaths, the plagues, the diseases, it's all right here. And it tells us she deserves it. But we should have been out of here. It told us we should have left. But no, we love the white man. Why? Because the white man gave us nothing. But it taught us to eat wrong food. Yes, sir.
If we went back to Africa, how will we survive? They're not even doing too hot over there themselves.
That's right. But you know what you're missing? That when the Mahdi came in the Sudan in 1845, when he was born, he had a prophecy written in his writings that he was to ride forth from Sudan back into Arabia with a black flag. You understand? He was to conquer Arabia with a black flag. Now, Arabia is his because he is a descendant of Noah who came out of Asia and came into Africa. So when the Mahdi came after the last prophet Muhammad, he was to ride forth and conquer all Arabia. Muhammad said, the world will not end until a man of my family is ruler over all Arabia. And what happened after that? Oil was discovered, correct? If we would have followed the Mahdi when he came, all the Sudanese marched back into Arabia, which is a baby as far as size. Arabia could fit in Sudan about 12 times. We would have marched back and conquered Arabia. The oil would have been in our hands as a people. You understand? We would have had the wealth to stop the starvation in Ethiopia. You understand? But we did not obey our calling as a people. We never obey our calling. When the Honorable Elijah Muhammad started teaching, 1933, if we would have obeyed then, we would have been a powerful nation today. But we rebelled against Honorable Elijah Muhammad and accepted all kind of crazy people, all kind of leaders that had no intention of doing anything for us as a nation. That is our problem. You're right then. If we got back into Africa now, we'd make a big mess of it. But if we would have listened to the Mahdi, who was our warner, because the Quran says, to every people I sent a warner. When the Mahdi came to us in the Sudan, had we obeyed him, we would have rode forth into Mecca and would have conquered. And when the oil would have been discovered, then we as a people who understand persecution and suffering and starvation and humiliation would have been the richest people in the world. And then we could have changed the course of the whole world. And that was the prophecy, but we didn't follow through on it because we disobeyed the Mahdi. We didn't follow him.
Come down to the Hall of Knowledge, located at 548 Hart Street in Brooklyn, New York, and meet the man behind the voice of the True Light Tapes.